Okay, everybody, welcome back. It's me and Trent, and Richard should be here momentarily. Hopefully, we're on into part 3. We thought there were going to be 2 parts. Now there's 3. I guess we'll see how far this goes. But we're talking about energy and
deep down the rabbit hole.
And
deep down the rabbit hole.
I was saying that I was having a similar but different experience a while back. I'm going to kind of shortcut the explanation, but let's just say I was using a computer in this room, and this room had no light sources behind me, no light in the ceiling, nothing like that. The only light source I had was a lamp that was in front of me, not behind me. And no other light sources anywhere. The room was dark except for the glow of the computer monitor, and me and a friend were doing something on the computer. And there's Richard. Hello, Richard. Hello, Richard. Turn on your audio. But anyway,
my audio.
There you are. Okay, cool. So anyway, as I was saying, so there were no light sources anywhere in the room except for the computer monitor in front of me and the lamp to the front side, but no light in the ceiling, nothing behind me, nothing. And this friend that I was with at the time, we were doing some stuff on the computer, whatever, we were hanging out, shooting the shit, whatever. He was a proclaimed Wiccan, right? He was all into this ritual stuff and magic and energy and all this, and ooh, he's so spiritual, right? So all of a sudden, directly behind us, there was this all of a sudden this bright white piercing light emanating from directly behind us that literally filled the room, blinding. Just everything was white just for a moment, just nothing but white, and then it subsided, and the source was coming from the center of the room behind us. And I turned around and looked. Obviously, nothing was there. We both turned around and looked. That was our reaction. And he's like, "Dave, did a light bulb just blow out or something?" It's like, no, there's no light sources anywhere. Nothing there. There's nothing that could have blown out. I mean, that was just a bright white light source just from the center of the room appearing out of nowhere. And I said, "Hey, who or whatever did that? Can you do that again? That was cool." And he's like, "Shut up, Dave, shut up." I'm like, "Don't tell me you're scared." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm scared." I'm like, "Oh, you're supposed to be this big bad, energy Wiccan guy, whatever, and you're scared of a little old etheric light coming out of the frickin' field? It's like you're scared of that, and you're supposed to be this big bad, whatever."
Orbs, it's pretty cool when that happens, but it also can scare the shit out of you. So if anyone out there has experienced anything like that, doesn't understand it, whatever you do, don't go tell the authorities and shit. You can come to someone like me or my academy, which is dreamenergyacademy.com. And it's all good, because there's a lot of us in there that have had similar incidents or stuff like that. So getting back to what orbs, I was trying to work out, I'd have orbs shoot off the top of my head, or was out. It used to be out of the corner. Workout was out of the corner of my eye. Then I realized it was coming out of the top of my crown chakra.
I just thought it was funny.
Orbs come into the room I'd have the orbs come into the room.
I just thought it was funny, that I wasn't scared at all. I thought it was cool, and this big bad Wiccan guy, energy guy, was scared, was practically shitting his pants, and I was just there laughing, like, yeah, that was cool. Do it again.
Well, yeah. Thrills ago, but what was that? Think like, damn, it's aliens. You're trying to process all these different things in your mind to actually what it actually was. First, what I thought it was, the very first thing what I thought it was I actually thought the light bulb was flickering on and off. So I went through the house and changed all the light bulbs. you know,
Mhm.
and stuff. I looked into it, and then I realized that they come down as delivery vessels. You get like, it's like energy spheres. It's like thought. You can put thought patterns into them. Like, so if I want to send upgrades to my students, I'll give them the actual. Okay, this is how you actually push an object, telekinesis. Okay, like, I only have to physically say it. Words pop into an orb, or like it's instantaneously goes to that person, bang, jumps into their head, up, and they work it out. Some of them actually see the light before it leaves and then goes into them. It just depends. When you get really, really, really advanced, you've been doing energy exercises for a very long time. Some of us, not all, all of us can, but you can actually physically go from soul and jump into a light orb. And then you can actually control that light orb in the room and go, I've done it only once before. I was able to pull it off. Like, I was slowly falling asleep in my bed, and I thought I was going into astral and OBE, an astral projection going out of body. Technically that is, but this one, it wasn't like not much. I didn't have much control. It was only up, down, left or right. And then I realized I was in an orb, and it scared the shit out of me. I popped back in my mind. I was like, damn, I just did that, did I? Cool. There's many different things. Just best not to freak out about it. Yeah, light orbs are cool, and that you can also get different colors as well. And that's one you can actually feel the difference. I mean, it's the only country in the world that I've traveled to, because I've been traveling for 20 years. As soon as you get off the plane, you get in Thailand, it's the land of smiles. Everyone's happy, and you get that feeling of like, oh, yes. My theory is because there's so many monks here meditating, producing, like they're meditating, and they're always in that trying. They stick in that love. Majority stick in that love vibration. They're producing orbs with like grass and their energy spheres with love in them. So that's why you get to like Thailand. You're like, oh damn, it's like happy here and stuff. That's one way out there theory. But that's one thing that I've noticed that not every other country that I go to that has that. And we've actually taken photos, around monks meditating, and you'll see different orb colors, like the high up, and lighted guides, and that you'll get a lot more orbs flying around them. Different colors as well. Green, I don't really like green ones, but yeah.
By the way, I also there's two left on the list from that article that I also think are relevant to add into this, and I want to finish that up. Number 7, living without limits. It goes back to what you were saying before about being giving to others and not being selfish, but that oftentimes gets twisted into neglecting your own needs, trying to give to others. And this person was saying that they thought they weren't supposed to say no to requests for help because that would be selfish. The core spiritual issue here relates to our limits and our humanity, and that you cannot fulfill everyone else's needs. And like, especially what if somebody's asking for help but they don't realize that they don't really want it. They're caught in a cycle. They want to energy harvest, or whatever word you want to use. They want to cycle in their shit, and then when people try to help them, it's impossible to help those people. And the article says, why don't we take appropriate care of ourselves, and that in the Christian context, but also I've seen this of New Agers and a lot of other people that they get frantic, exhausted, overloaded, and hurried. And so few Christians make the connection between love of self and love of others. And that self-care is never a selfish act. It is simply good stewardship of the only gift that you have to give. In other words, the gift of yourself. Then number 8, the last one, is one I see often too, judging other people's spiritual journey. This is always one of the greatest dangers in Christianity, that and the New Age movement and a lot of other places, truth movement, all of that. Sadly, we often would turn our differences into moral superiority or virtues, virtue signaling, by failing to let others be themselves.
and move at their own pace. And then we inevitably project onto them our own discomfort with their choice to live life differently than we do. Like Jesus said, unless I first take the log out of my own eye, knowing that I have huge blind spots, I am dangerous. I must see the extensive damage within me and and within who I am, emotion, intellect, body, will, and spirit, before we can attempt to remove the speck from someone else's eye. So that's the last one on the list, and it's one I see a lot. That moral superiority, that virtue signaling. People, they never learn how to respect their own right to their own path because they're always trying to jump through hoops and fit in. So I think that they don't respect other people's pace and other people's journey and other people's right to their own development, because they don't really know how to respect their own. So why would they know how to respect anybody else? They really wouldn't.
Cool. Getting back to that other story too, I was trying to say, back in the day when I was partying, drinking, or smoking herbs, not really partying, that's more being peaceful and stuff. But just don't do it every other day. Don't do it every day. I'd be playing 440 megahertz and I could see shadow people come in. And then it's basically because if you're drinking spirits, you're invoking spirits. That's what it actually means. As soon as you start drinking alcohol, you're actually inviting spirits to jump in and jump onto your soul and tag onto you. So what's happening is you're the shadow people, the lower entities trying to come in and try and jump in on your soul. So what I did was, as soon as they come in close, I'd switch it to 432, which is the reconnection back to source, and they just scatter and run. It was actually it was just really funny to me. Like it was just like a spiritual funny game that I used to play. All the dark would come in, they'd take off, and I'd just be sitting there laughing and listening to 432 megahertz.
What,
so you actually got that on YouTube. I played with the shadow people. I was messing with them, fucking around with them for fun.
So you'd chill and relax and have a couple of beers or whatever and watch the shadows come, and then
slowly they cut. The more you drink, the more you get drink. Yeah. And
then once you had a nice little crowd going on, you just hit the frequency and watch them scatter.
Yeah, for fun. That shit's real, man. It's real. You'll notice too when you get to if you get really
What, Richard? Hold on, Richard's trying to say something. What's that, Richard?
Does that explain why, when you drink enough, the metaphorical term is you black out because you have so many people tagging on?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but you'll notice, my mate blanks out all the time, doesn't even realize what he was doing. I'm just like, dude, you got to really stop drinking because you can't control it, man. Like, it's really, really bad. It's just because he wasn't mentally, strong enough not to allow stuff to jump on and ride on. I mean, it's happened to me before. I've cleared it all out. You've got to clear the shit out. That's where distant healings comes in to play. You clear that stuff out again.
And then you can drink without it being dangerous.
Drinking's dangerous anyway, but I don't mind red. I just try and stick to red wine, organic red wine, if I can afford it. Otherwise,
living is dangerous for that matter. But hey.
Yeah. But you get to a stage level where if you had a couple of drinks and you'll hear this voice, can I jump on? And you're just like. And because you're just drunk and you got no control over it, you just, okay, bang, and it'll just latch on to you. Sometimes you can feel it hook in if you can feel it. Sometimes you can't, but it's just a little, all it takes is a thought form and not even saying anything.
I've never heard of anybody reporting voices as, hey, can I jump on while they're drunk?
Yeah, I've never heard of that either.
when you close your eye, it's when you see. I was OBing, but I was astral projecting out. So as soon as you go too far out of your body, stuff does start latching onto you. So that's the thing. Like, I don't know if there's other people who had experiences like that. Like, I've physically seen it through my third eye. It, like I said, like as soon as I close my eyes, we call that's our black, like it's a screen. Yeah. Some of us can see dots, like stars. Some of us can't, like little orbs everywhere. Some of us can, some of us can't. If you can't, your third eye's more. Okay,
Yeah,
then your third eye is not blocked. Then your third eye is not blocked. But for me, mine was way open, and I was able to travel out. And the further I travel away, and I'm like, fuck you. I was drunk, and then the second one would come in. Oh no, really, stop, dude! I'm like, no, fuck this, I'm going all the way. And you just like, you go into the darkness, bang. I don't know, something would attach onto me, and then you feel it, and just, oh man, I feel like shit afterwards. And then
that explains a few things, because like I guess my third eye's never been too blocked then, because every time I literally close my eyes in this distance forever, no matter how much I try to physically block out the light, I always have patterns of moving light. Just, whenever I close my eyes, black is never really truly black, if you know what I mean. There's all these dancing patterns of light within the darkness, the sparkling, speckling.
I was just using that as an example because I was going too far away out of my body, and once you go, it's just but darkness has light, and when you really, really do look at darkness has light. And I'm not saying darkness is bad; it's just evil is bad. That's my term, how I use things. So.
Just like pain isn't bad. Pain is a teacher. Suffering is what's bad. Suffering is what's unnecessary.
About the orbs as well. If you get clear orbs, like that's that they're like commonly thought to be like a sign that a spirit is trying to communicate with you. If it's a clear orb, okay. If it's a silver orb, a silver or white orb, normally that's like a positive energy. They're there to offer you strength and protection. And I've noticed too, like I'll have orbs spinning around me, right? And then just before I have that first drink of alcohol, you know what happens? Those orbs take off. My protection leaves me, which leaves you white orbs are actually orbs spinning around protect you. As soon as you even I saw it too once. Like I was vegetarian for over a year, and then I got shouted an all-you-can-eat buffet breakfast, six-star hotel. I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Let's go, food. And my orbs shot off as soon as I ate like bacon, and like for the first time in over a year. And then half an hour later, I was up in the hotel room crawling around on the floor in pain because I was eating dead meat again, and I just lowered my vibration down. So, I mean, I get back on track again. Everyone falls, and it's how you pick yourself back up again. And brown orbs, the black and the brown orbs, they're normally like a sign of danger. They're negative, unsafe, so you want to try and stay away from them. Red and orange orbs, that's what's mainly here in Thailand. They're like warm-colored orbs. That's like safety, security. They're offering comfort, healing energy. They bring strength and courage. Blue orbs, they're extremely peaceful, and they're extremely calm and peaceful. And they could often, sometimes they could be your spirit guide, because everyone has spirit guides and helping you all the time, and they offer guidance and protection. Green orbs, I've seen them sometimes. Like I said before, I didn't really like them, but I know what they are now anyway, so they're cool. But they normally represent they're associated with love and a respect for nature. So they're like always a soothing color. Yeah, you got yellow orbs as well. They represent caution, so you got to like pay attention, watch out. So like one of your guides or an angel could be warning you, because sometimes
in other words, the colors directly correspond to the chakra colors. Is basically what you're saying.
Sort of, yeah. Purples as well. You got purple orbs. That's like that's information.
Exactly. So, look at the chakra colors. Look at what you're saying about the orb. You've got direct correlation.
So Yeah. So imagine orbs going in and out of your chakras as well. So it depends how deep you want to go today, Dave. Overall, we've gone pretty deep enough already to freak enough people out, to be complimented with the word called crazy. But this is just shit that I've seen, I can vouch for. I know it, I've done it, I've seen it,
Well,
and it's just like... I know, and you know what? If we get 1,000, we get... Sorry, if we get 1,000...
I just think these are fun conversations. I mean, people should never just blindly believe anything anyone's saying. I mean, these are just like...
No, until you actually experience it.
This is just thought exploration, It's just people have no imagination, no curiosity. They think they can't explore thoughts and concepts. They think it's weird, it's crazy, it's whatever. And I just think that means they have a pole up their ass.
Well, even if we got like 1,000 people, that don't get it, and you got 999. Sorry, you got out of 1,000 people watch this video, and 999 don't get it. But there's that one soul out there. It's like, holy shit, that's what those things were that I saw. Well, awesome. I got through to one person, and that's all that really mattered, because then they understand the same thing I'm going through. I've noticed that when I've gone to certain places, I'm like, hey man, did you just see that? Holy shit, I just saw that as well. I was like, cool, I'm not crazy. Or then someone will just come out and say something really crazy. They were really, really scared of not saying or not publicly saying it to someone because they didn't want to think bad of someone, think bad about them, or, and I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. Like I said, I've done that and I've done worse. Like not worse in a bad, like I've seen worse than that or seen something more crazier than that. So I always like, yeah, I've done that one. And, as always, I try and comfort them. Like, that's, wait till you see this. Now it gets really, a little bit hectic. You know what I mean? That's how I always am with everyone. Yeah. So that's why I get a lot of people.
It's kind of like how, sometimes people tell me, well, Dave, if you're not looking to try to convince, anybody of anything, and you're not trying to get people to believe what you believe, then why do you bother talking at all? And I say, well, that's simple. If there was a way that I could only just speak with the like-minded people and leave everybody else out of it, I will. But, I do that. But we haven't mastered telepathy yet. So right now, the only thing I can do is just speak out. And when I speak out, most of the people who are going to hear me are not the like-minded people. But this is the only way to get for the like-minded people to communicate. But the non-like-minded people are gonna hear it too. Or as Richard once said, if you're in a field of tall grass and you're calling out to your comrade, the lion in the grass is gonna hear you too. And it can't be avoided.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's different levels of half the stuff that I talk about, when I got back to Australia, half the spiritual people ain't even seen that stuff. They were just focusing on meditation, they were doing more inner work, where I was more projecting outwards, like dream walking, so creating dreams. That's one thing I can do, create dreams for other people where I physically can walk into a dream. I've done that many times. And 80 to 90% success rate of getting in.
Yeah, well, one thing
rabbit hole a lot more deeper.
One thing that I've heard Cryon explain when he puts new agers in their place and calls them on their shit a bit. One thing that he said that most light workers seem like to him is, imagine somebody goes to medical school for 8 years, they get their degrees and everything, right? Someone says, oh cool, you got that, so what are you going to do? I'm going to go back to medical school for another 4 years. So they go back to medical school for another 4 years, get more degrees. Okay, cool, you got that. What are you going to do? I'm going to go back to medical school for another 8 years. The point being is that light workers, it's time to do the work. You know what I mean? They want to sit there and they meditate and stay in their little bubble, and they want to take in information, but they don't actually want to apply any of the information that they're given. They just want to sit there in their little bubble while the world burns around them, and they think this is going to a higher vibrational place or whatever. When really it's just narcissism.
I love physically changing the environment around me. Like, I like doing big stuff. So I'll give you an example of something that happened yesterday. I went down to the beach, and that it didn't, it pissed me off, because I was like this. I know this dolphin wasn't beached. It rocked up like it drowned in plastic, or I didn't cut it open and have a look, but I know it's something bad had happened to it, and it didn't beach itself. So I was like, shit. And you can't move it. You have to wait for it to get washed in, because it was already rotted away, like half rotted away. But, a couple of days gone by, and I'm like, no one's come to, get it off the beach or something, get rid of it. It's just still sitting there. And there was a truck that goes past. Hey, you guys want to help me? And I'll help pick it up, put it on the truck. And, if you want to take it off the beach, and they didn't want to touch it. And I was like, damn. I was like, all right, I'll bury it myself. So I dug a hole, I buried it, and I managed to, actually, I closed my eyes. I did a healing on the. I did I said a couple of things, and I did a healing on this dolphin. And I closed my eyes, and the screen was black, and it just went completely white when I was doing the healing. Because dolphins, whales, they're like magical, amazing sentinel beings. And I was doing this healing on it, and I said one thing out loud, and I said, may you reincarnate as a human to stop the plastic problem in the ocean. And just as I did it, there was a crack of lightning that come down on my head. There was clouds, but it wasn't like thunder and rain and shit. It was just like, that's how I get the, massive goosebumps. And I was like, okay, cool. That whatever this dolphin reincarnates into, they're gonna, hopefully save the planet or all the plastic problem that's going on. When you get an interaction like that with divine creator, source, collective consciousness, whatever you want to call it, that's when you're doing something good. When you're walking down the street and you see a homeless person on the other side of the street, you might not have any money, so you pull your energy in, and you can bless them, or you can send your energy out through your hands from a distance, and they'll get it. And something might happen, like they might get offered a job, or they might get off the street, or something might get them out of that negative hole that they're in. So I like to pull people out of if they're in a hole, I'll pull people and lift them up and build them up. So that's how you change. And meditating on, and just crying about how the world's so shit around you, and I don't want to be here anymore. I'm waiting for aliens to come pick me up. If the world is shit around you, then change it. Physically change it. And you can do it from a distance, so.
Here's a question. What if a person is like a raging narcissist, or they're trapped in their patterns or whatever, and you do that kind of blessing of healing or whatever, like what effect do you imagine that would have on somebody who is desperately trying to cling on to narcissism and self-destruction?
I would imagine that they'd actually be able to, if they'd actually be able to breathe again and let that thing that whatever was controlling them not control them for maybe a day, and they go, damn, what's happened? I'm all at peace with myself, and not angry at the world, and not angry at myself, and not angry at everyone around me. You know what I mean? So it depends what's hooked into them, or what's feeding off them. There's things out there, there's entities out there, archons, for instance, archons, whatever, they're like energy siphoning, like vampires, technically. You can't even see them. Sometimes they're latched onto people. They feed like off emotion. So if you get all emotional, upset, and you're angry all the time, it could be something feeding off you. There's even people that do that to people. They get them all worked up. They get on the phone and they create drama. It turns into an energy drain. So I try and avoid all that stuff. I avoid a lot of it during retrogrades. Like, damn, I've had so much shit happen to me. Like, I had a couple of close people, ego will just turn on them and just go completely nuts. And I'm just like, oh my God, like seriously, just you know, hold your breath, and that way you can't be negative towards me right now because I'm listening to ego dribble and it's getting annoying and I don't want to listen to this anymore. You know, it's just, you don't have control of that little filter in between your mind and you control the filter, please. You know, it's just, that's why I disconnect from everything, because I can't handle it. Because you'll notice, like, it's on the Facebook feeds. You'll notice one that's all about politicians. It's like, oh God, but come on, you know. And then you'll notice on the really, really bad the retrograde days, or if there's a solar flare happening, people start posting about puppies and kittens, dogs and kittens and cats and animals. That's when you know people are really, really struggling, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to find or cling on to that feeling of love, which is cool. And we all have those days. I believe the next one is coming up, a Mercury retrograde, July the 26th to August the 19th is when all chaos is going to break out. And then we have a break, and then it's going to be November the 17th to December the 6th.
Hey,
sorry?
Richard's trying to say something.
Yeah, his birthday. When's your birthday?
August the 19th, National Aviation Day.
Birthday, it's going to be like all nice energy. So, well, yeah, they're the days up. And then 17th of November to December the 6th. Hey?
And then, of course, this fall I'm going to be doing...
say that again?
Oh, I was just going to say, National Aviation Day is probably one of the most inspiring days that there is, because aviation is one of our greatest inventions, really, in terms of bringing the world together. You know, it's a very positive, uplifting thing. Gee, why the globalists want to keep people out of it? I mean, you know, that's why they artificially make it expensive.
Cool.
Because it's a very uplifting thing. I mean, to be able to fly amongst the birds has been something that philosophers have talked about for thousands of years, and now we live in times where we can do those things. And of course, this fall, that'll be awesome because I'm taking Fire Academy and all that stuff. And to go along with what you're saying, I've been dealing with such hardcore cognitive dissonance, and just feeling I'm stuck in a rut. I'm dealing with my own worst enemy, which is my own false ego. Thus, you're just verifying everything that I've been going through. Because it's really just kind of a battle of the self right now. It's not a battle of anyone else versus anything else. It's really just a battle of humanity just dealing with its own shit, you know.
Battle of authenticity versus inauthenticity.
Right. So right now, that's kind of why I've been in a slump, because, you know, I want to move forward with my career in emergency medical technician and medicine and stuff, and I've been having cognitive dissonance over that, you know, and just, you know, dealing with stuff.
Okay, so, okay, I think, hang on, so just check. I think we got like 8 minutes left. Okay, cool. So I'll tell you what, I'll take you through something right now, mate. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine like you're meditating, and you're like levitating above a lake of water. Okay, now I want you to imagine that you put your hand out and you drop a rock into that water, and you'll notice that what one is, it will ripple out 360 degrees. So I want you to put the thoughts of what you want to do, what you want to achieve, what you want to learn. I want to go to aviations, whatever aviation class or school that you want to do. I want to do this. I want to do that. You put the thoughts like you're dropping it like a stone into it. It's just rippling out, never negative, otherwise it comes back and bites you in the ass. And just keep rippling out those thoughts of what you want. So from your inner self, and you pulse 360 degrees outwards as far as you can go to the universe, infinity. So anything that you need that's positive, not like, no, not Lambos and shit don't come back. I've tried that one. Materialistic stuff doesn't come back. But something, you know, it's from, if you operate and you operate from the heart and you project, you're going to start getting more solid, and you're going to reconnect back into your soul. It pulls you back in, reconnects back to soul, so you can actually start getting that stuff. So you start pushing it out, go out further, further, further. Keep thinking that. If anything negative comes into the mind, just let it go. It's no longer needed anymore. And just keep pushing out all those thoughts for what you need. So that's just a simple little meditation that you can do. It gets you back on track. It's kind of like a meditation to-do list. But it's actually it's a meditation manifestation to-do list where you will actually tick off stuff that you projected out what you want, because then it will ripple back and come to you. So normally I reverse that round when I come across scattered souls, run different personations, like got a couple of personations going on.
You told me to do that.
And then I get them to pull their energy back in. Say that again.
I said it's weird. As soon as you told me to do that, I just stopped. And I just I could feel that energy just radiating out. I just focused on watching that ripple, like I was picturing dropping those stones and just envisioning that ripple just going off over the horizon, like I was sitting over the Pacific Ocean and I dropped this big stone into the water and just watched that ripple go out, and just thought about all
that's what you were
saying, and it was pretty, and I felt my mind just immediately go into focus. It's like, boom, there it is, bam.
You got the light orb I just sent you. That's how it works. That's how you upgrade people with new information. But that's how I take people through all kinds of meditation stuff like that. It's as long as you focus on the stuff you really, really need and it's positive, it's coming from heart, it's what you want, it's going to start coming in. Also, another one to do if you feel like you're distorted, you're in front of the TV too much, you listen to the radio, the 440 megahertz, you're distorted turn all that shit off, walk outside, take your shoes off and start interacting with nature. Sit down like Buddha used to do. He used to have his back up against a tree and sit there. He used to use the spine. He used to use the tree as his spine and sit there and just meditate, reconnect to source. Right, what creator? Not tomato sauce. Okay. And he used to connect in and go, right, what do I need to do now? And then the tree would help him because it's connected all the way down to Mother Gaia. And you can pull that energy up from Mother Gaia, and you just start working out, you start processing, working out more stuff in your head, where you can physically go up to a tree, put your hand on a tree, merge your soul with a tree, ask permission, may I merge my soul with you. You can start breathing in and out of your hand starts turning into wood. You could send love into the tree will pulse you back with love and you'll get full body goosebumps. It's really, really cool when you get something like that. So as I was teaching my students the other day, I do like a free distant healing, a big group one for the first one ever. I haven't done anything for 3 years. I just decided the other day at time it's enough's enough. But I taught them how to merge the soul with a tree. Told them, how do you think Merlin used to, how do you think Merlin used to roll? Merlin, the magic, the wizard, he used to use the trees as his wands. So you don't actually have to, hold on to a wand. I've got a wand here, but he used to use the trees as wands. So I drive down on the motorbike, and like if I'm in pain, I'll be like, hey, I mentally just think of the thought, hey trees, can you send me some love? And can you get rid of some of the pain away from me, please? And all of a sudden I feel warm and fuzzy and goosebumps. Pain goes away. I know this is out there stuff, but hey, the next time you're out, and even if you're driving down in a car, just say, hey, like, hey trees, just if you acknowledge nature is going to acknowledge you back. Okay. So
I've had several being out in Oregon, you have no choice but to have experiences like that. And I can tell you right now, the most meditating thing to do is take a long drive out in the country.
What do the Japanese call it? They call it
and you kind of have a good sensation feeling again, So I can relate to that.
I forgot what the Japanese call it. Yeah, the Japanese call it something. They go out, I think it's, I forgot what they call it, but they've actually got a label for it, going out and getting lost in nature and meditating, get your energy levels back up again and finding peace. I forgot what they call it. But hey, we got like a minute left. Do you guys want to go again? I don't mind.
The Asians also have a term for what happens when you drink fluoride. They call it something wrong.
Something wrong.
Hey, we got a minute left.
Do we want to go again, or are we cutting it off here? What are we doing?
I'm cool. We're just starting to get into the good stuff.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
Hey, it's once in 3 years I've done this, you know, so if you want to keep going on it, it's a rare thing, rare occasion. Very rare occasion.
Cool. Round 4.
Cool.
Round 4 then.